Hi everyone, and welcome to another AdWords Hangout on Air. My name is Eric, and I'm joined by my colleague Lizzie today, and we are both on the AdWords team here at our Google headquarters in Mountain View, California. So today, actually, we're going to talk about mobile advertising, really why it is so important. So Lizzie is actually on our mobile team, and she is honestly a specialist. That's what she's known as, at least. And so she's really going to help us deep dive some of the intricacies of mobile as we get into that today. But before she does, I just want to tell you the three main points that we're going to go over. The first of which, why is mobile even important? The second, really making sure that your website itself is mobile optimized. And lastly, third, just looking at the actual ad types on the AdWords interface that you all can make sure to optimize as well. So first and foremost, I'll hand it off here to Lizzie to jump in.
Thanks, Eric. So in advertising on AdWords, there's three main platforms you can advertise on: computers, tablets, and mobile. So we're going to deep dive a little bit into mobile here, and let's look at some stats involving that. So 96% of the US population has a mobile phone. That is a very large percentage of the US, and that means that there's a lot of opportunity there for advertising. People check their phones approximately 150 times a day. So if you can think of the recency and how often people do this, again, a huge opportunity there. 86% of all mobile users check their phones within an hour of waking up. Depending on your target demographic, if it's the younger population, this might be a really good time to start advertising, maybe in the morning. Another fun fact here, 50.3% of e-commerce traffic is now coming in from mobile devices. This is especially important for those retail businesses that are looking to get purchases through on mobile. Lastly, 40% of online sales comes from mobile phones. Again, those retail businesses or any kind of business that involves purchasing online, this is going to be very important. So what can mobile help you achieve? Let's look at that. First, it can help you, and it's perfect for businesses that want to increase phone calls and inquiries and bookings. This is, if someone just wants to call a plumber or any kind of service-oriented business, this is great for them. Second, it can help lead customers to your storefront. So this is where someone's on the road, they're looking for a pair of shoes. They need to find running shoes because they're going to a half marathon. This would be the perfect opportunity for them to look you up, find that you have their perfect pair of shoes, and just go ahead and go to your storefront to buy them. Third, it can help drive traffic. So if you just want to be found, maybe you just want to be an informational site that wants to be found by someone, it can help drive traffic to your site. It can allow you to track phone calls that you've received and link them to your return on investment. This is going to be especially important for people that are looking to see what AdWords brings to them. Fifth, app downloads. So if you do have an app that your business has, this would be a great way for them to be able to download that. Six, showcase your unique selling point against your competitors for customer comparison. Again, being able to provide what value you have and see how that works out for you. So now Eric's going to be talking to us a little bit more about the mobile site.
Awesome. Thanks, Lizzie. So while we're not going to get into the coding of a mobile site, I will tell you how it should really look aesthetically and how you really want to make that up. So just to make sure that you understand the importance of a mobile site, we really want to make sure that in addition to just having something that's easy to use, it's also really important for your SEO ranking on Google, because now we have changed around our algorithm here in the last month or two just to really focus on mobile websites. So also, when you go through and look at how your mobile website's organized, just because, say, I can get on my smartphone and actually look through your website and the desktop version loads, that's not necessarily the best customer experience for me, because I may have to zoom in, I may have to click around and scroll horizontally. It's just difficult to read. So that brings me to my first of 4 points here about mobile website best practices. So that first one is navigation, and making sure that you have something that is very hierarchical in how you organize the actual landing pages and links on your website. The best way that I've seen on most mobile websites is to have 3 bars either in the top right or left-hand corner, and that really breaks down the actual website into something that's really easy to digest. And also, as a rule of thumb, you really want to make sure to minimize 7 links to each page, because at the end of the day, you're dealing with most of the time a 5-inch screen. If you have a really big phone, maybe close to 7 inches, but still pretty small compared to your average laptop. So also the second point here, really want to keep your content succinct. So keep in mind that people aren't dealing with, most of the time, Wi-Fi. They're on cellular signals when they're on their actual mobile device. So you want to make sure images load pretty quickly. So make sure they're smaller. And you also want to make sure that the actual points that you talk about, the words, are actually in bullet points rather than in paragraphs and paragraphs of text. So third point here is making it easy to either get in touch with you if you're a service-based business, like Lizzie was saying here, with maybe a plumber, or if I'm locked out of my apartment, which happens from time to time, and you're a locksmith, or say you actually are an e-retailer as well. Maybe you are selling shoes online in addition to your brick and mortar store, and you want to make sure that it's easy to actually make that purchase. So mobile purchasing is something that a lot of companies are moving toward now. So it is a lot easier to get that to be a much simpler process. And the fourth website best practice here is to make sure that people can find your actual location. So it's really important that you don't make people go back to Google and open up a different tab, leave your website entirely just to find where your actual address is. So make sure that you either have integrated Google Maps into the contact page on your website, and it's really easy to find as well. So those are the 4 different points here that I wanted to touch on with your mobile website. So I'm going to hand it back over to Lizzie, and she's going to talk through some of the AdWords side of mobile.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. So if mobile advertising sounds like something that you'd be interested in that can help your business grow, let's look at how it actually works. Let's look at the AdWords interface and see how it can help you achieve your goals. So let's get started here. So first here in AdWords, first thing you want to do is click on all campaigns here on the left side of the page. Once you're in there, you want to select a campaign and an ad group that you would want to add an ad to. So in my case, let's do plumbing over here. So what you want to do when you're in here is go into the Ads tab and click on Plus Ad. For now, we're just going to do a text ad. Let's go down here. So let's pretend we're making an ad for a plumbing business here in San Francisco. Here's where you want to do the headline. So the headline is the most important line of your ad that has to catch the attention of your customer. It's really best to include the main keywords your customer will use in an ad. For example, if we're going to do a plumber in San Francisco, we're going to write in plumber in San Francisco. Then, description line number 1. One thing that's important to note here is that even though you have 35 characters available to use, it's important to keep it as short as possible to make sure that it's easier to read on the small screens. Like Eric mentioned, if they're 5-inch screen or 7-inch screens, regardless, we want to make sure that it's nice and succinct. So in description line number 1, this is the line that should detail the information on the product or service that you offer. So for someone that's a plumbing service, maybe we might want to do same day repair service. That's pretty short and to the point. For description line number 2, this is similar to like the text ads on a computer, which is the call out line. This is where you want to provide some kind of call to action on what they want to do. So in our case, since we're a plumbing business, we want people to give us a call if they need plumbing for the same day service. We're going to say, call us today for a quote. Again, nice and quick and to the point. So let's say our display URL is plumbersf.com. One thing that's important here is to make sure that we select that the device preference is mobile. This way we can make sure that we let AdWords know that we want this ad specifically to show on mobile, and you can see here what it would look like on a device. And that's that. Once you're done, you just click on Save Ad, and there's your ad, ready to go for mobile. So now Eric's just going to go ahead and conclude here.
Perfect. Thanks, Lizzie. So we really have covered the 3 main points here to get you actually going on mobile. Now, just as a quick recap, we've really talked through why it's even important to be on mobile, because again, 96% of Americans have a mobile device, and most of them actually check it 150 times a day, which is kind of weird to think about. That's probably a good log for me to maybe see how I match up against it.
Yeah.
But either way, we also talked through how to actually set up a mobile website, and then of course mobile best practices on AdWords itself. So feel free to go ahead and post questions if you have any to the actual YouTube channel or on Google Plus as well. And we'll be sure to look through those. And as always, thanks so much for tuning in. And we'll be back next week with a little bit more advanced tips on mobile as well. Thanks so much for joining us.
Bye.